First of all, I'd like to thank, of course, GS1 for inviting my organization in order to present what we are doing right now. And I must say that I improved the experiment this morning, the need of traceability, because when I came into this room, I realized that I forgot my, and I lost my glasses. So, but I found it. So, better like that. So, thank you again, and let me explain you that why a GPO should go in that kind of project and why we went through that kind of project. And this is for us quite strategic for the past months and the next years in order to deliver better quality to our hospital. So, a few words about Resah. Resah, it's an acronym. It means Hospital Purchaser Network. This is a not-for-profit organization that was created in 2007. It is owned by public and not-for-profit hospital and nursing home. Right now, it's about 300 members from teaching hospital to local hospital and nursing home. And we can say that right now we are now of the main key player in the healthcare procurement sector. Basically, we have two main activities because what we want to do is to bring efficiency and performance to the hospital through the purchasing and logistic function, which is quite interesting nowadays, and we do act as two main activities. The first one, and this is the most known, I think, is we do act as a CPB, Central Purchasing Body, or GPO, Group Purchasing Organization, which aims at gathering the needs of hospital and nursing home in order to not only making savings by thanks to economy of scales, but also to increase the quality and what is very important, to make our expert exchange between hospital and to bring inside hospital innovation, which is something very strategic nowadays. But I can say that we are about to make €1 billion a year of purchasing. We buy everything you can find in a hospital, from pharmaceuticals to medical devices, biomedical engineering, catering, food, everything you can find we buy. And so in linked and in network with our hospital. But we have also another department which is called the Resource and Expertise Center. And this is something very important for us because this department, and I'm in charge of the coordination of both, which is sometimes a little bit hard, but very challenging, is to provide solutions through all the value of chains. It provides solutions they go inside the hospital, helping hospitals so not only to implement contract, but also to find new ways to be more and more efficient. And the project I will present, it was not in the department of the Central Purchasing Body, but it was in the department of Resources and Expertise Center, and this is something quite symbolic for us. I have to say that we do have 3 levels of activity. At the origin, we were only at, but it was good, at the regional level, and we work only at the regional level, but we were asked to act at a national level. So right now, we do widespread solutions, contracts, and our solution to all hospitals that want in France. And what is interesting, and it has a link with the fact that I'm here today, is that we have European and international activity, because thanks to a different project we lead in linked with the EU Commission, we decided with some colleagues from other countries to create an association of GPO, not-for-profit GPOs, and this association was founded in 2013, and it's called EPA, European Health Public Procurement Alliance. And in this association that we were in General Assembly last week, you can find some colleagues from Portugal, from UK, NHS, a trust in NHS, Belgium, Luxembourg, of course France, Unico from Germany, and also Norway, Switzerland, and Italy. And in this association, we do benchmark, of course, but we benchmark about the project we are leading inside the country. And one of the topics we were talking about was the GS1 standard a few years ago. So this is the main aspects I wanted to point for Resah. And something else is that we do believe that a central purchasing body or group purchasing organization has to be to bring value through all the chain of purchasing process. I mean, not only by improving the contracting process, but before this contracting process and during the life of the contract. So that's why we have those two departments, and that's why when we want to do that and to pass from the slide to the field, you do have to have a common language inside the hospital, but between the different hospitals. And that's why you can see at the bottom that we decided and we take conscience that the information system was strategic in order to make those activities, for example, standardization, purchase management control, and also to dialogue inside an hospital to factualize, to give facts to the physician, radiologist, and other. So, the information access to optimize patient care. What is very important from a GPO perspective is to understand that what do hospitals want today? Of course, they want quality of products. They want good products of good quality. And they want also services linked with this product. But now they do want also the information that is linked to this product and can help them to manage, to have a better management inside their organization. And this is very important for us to understand that when you speak with an hospital manager, he says, okay, this is something that can be quite complex, quite technical, doc, so help me to understand, help me to help you. So I think that this poster we have seen, and it was made, of course, by GS1, can help an hospital manager to understand that the GS1 standard and the standardization can help to every level of the hospital to have a better management inside this hospital. And this is why we take conscience that it was interesting for us to go through. So, of course, it ensures an effective electronic procurement. It reduces supply costs linked to invoice reconciliation, huge problem, credit claims, returns, refuse delivery, and, of course, it consolidates an update of logistical and clinical data. That's why I made on the slide. The first time we heard about implementing an e-catalog, we thought, as I said, that it was a technical subject, a quite complex process, and when we have discussion with colleagues from other countries, we take conscience that in many countries it was supported by national agencies. So why should we go in that kind of process? As I said, because of data management, but also in order to anticipate the transformations linked with the dematerialization and, of course, the traceability of our products. So for us, it was important to be here. It was also for us to guarantee an easier access to hospital to reliable information, and we wanted to be sure that the process of dematerialization go to well-known and international standards. So for us, it was important to be at the head of the stack in order to do that. So what did we do? We did a pilot. This pilot, we built it on the voluntary base, of course. We asked for supplier, we asked to hospital, we asked to association, and we asked some partner like MIPI to join us in order to build something. What was the purpose of this project? It was first to evaluate the technical details of implementation, and on the other side to demonstrate how GS1 standards can improve and make more efficient the relationship between us institutions and supplier. But moreover, we have to have a common interest. So what was the different interest from the different parts? For example, for public hospitals, Centre hospitalier d'Argenteuil, Centre hospitalier de Saint-Denis, Est francilien et le service de santé des armées, they wanted to come through that kind of project because it was aided them to secure the health product process within the hospital, which is very, very important, of course. Thanks to this project, they take conscious that they could have an easier access to update and complete data. And as there is a reform right now, a huge reform in France now for public hospital, as we are building a new purchasing function, they take conscience that that kind of project could be interesting for making those new purchasing function. From the supplier side, what they wanted is to control the data and to have a control of the data they send to the hospital, which was interesting. It was interesting for them also to automatize the transmission to all the hospital once, and to receive orders with very well-known codes. And for our colleagues, and so the supplier, I have to quote them, Biorad, Bebron, Vigon, and Roche, because they were very involved in that project. Of course, JS1, of course, CIP, which is an association which is a major stakeholder in France, and the solution provider, MIPI, our partner, they wanted to come into that kind of project because it was for us to make easier the interoperability, which is a huge issue in France. It was here to help to structure the information, so it was important also, and to make easier the communication between, I would say, contracting authorities like us and the supplier. So this working group worked about 2 years. It's been 2 years since we launched that project. And on the left side of the slide, you can see the needs, okay, the regulatory purposes, which is very important. I was told that in 2020 we will go on a unique device identification. Of course, to answer e-procurement requirement, because under the EU directive, we have to go further and further in dematerialization, which is for us very important, and to get accurate and clinical data. So on the right side, you have the answer. It's called e-cat santé, meaning e-catalog, health e-catalog, and it was done, and it's now online. I will show some slide. So it's a connection to a GDSN network via JS1 Parangon to access one. Only one single subscription, and it has an interoperability with French hospital, which is very important for us. This is the catalog. So you can find commercials items, and logistical items. This is on. So they defined a list of trade items. They mapped the trade item and the test phase, so it's okay, it worked. And they defined 111 field, and 42 are mandatory for pharmaceutical, and 131 field and 33 are mandatory for medical devices. So as we know that it worked right now, our work today for us as GPO is to have a political and a judicial aspect. As political, we are now launching a big communication plan to the supplier in order to prove them that they have to come into this project. So we made a guide. We are now at the direction and the management of Resah is meeting the different suppliers, explaining to them that it's important to come through that kind of project. And we will, in the next months, add specific clauses in our contract in order to come more and more into that e-catalog until we hope having all the suppliers inside this data pool. So for us, it was very interesting to have that project. Of course, we just made the step 1. We are now launching the step 2 by enrolling the different suppliers, but we do have the impression that putting all those different stakeholders around the table, that we are working for the general interest, and even if sometimes they can be competitors, they just agree to have a common speech and a common language, which is for us very, very strategic. Thank you very much for your attention.